Hello everyone. Thank you for being here today. I'm excited to share a heartwarming story with you titled, 10, The Imperfectly Perfect Cat. If you enjoy this video, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. Of course, if it's not your style, feel free to skip it, no hard feelings. Now, let's begin the story. When most people think of cats, they imagine sleek fur, graceful leaps, and a certain air of superiority, as if every cat has secretly been knighted by the Queen of England. 10, however, has never fit that elegant description. He's not as strong as other cats, his steps are sometimes clumsy, and his tail has a bend that makes him look like he has his own built-in question mark. If you saw him for the first time, you might wonder, what on earth happened to this little guy? But to me, Tin is absolutely perfect in his imperfect ways. You see, Tin's daily routine is already a comedy show. He tries to jump onto the windowsill but sometimes miscalculates and ends up sliding down the curtains like a furry fireman. He'll chase after a toy mouse with heroic determination, only to get tangled in the carpet halfway through his mission. Even when he sits still, Tin has a quirky charm. His ears don't always stand straight, so he looks as though he's constantly eavesdropping on a juicy secret. And yet, despite these so-called flaws, Tin has mastered the art of winning hearts. Strangers smile when they meet him, friends laugh at his antics, and I just feel lucky to have a companion who can make any gloomy day brighter. Tin isn't just a cat. He's living proof that you don't need to be perfect to be lovable. Of course, loving Tin also means accepting his mischievous streak. And let me tell you, he is a certified troublemaker. His favorite activity? Pretending he's a professional chef by sneaking into the kitchen. The moment I turn my back, Tin hops onto the counter, nose twitching like a detective on a case. One time, I caught him dipping his paw into a bowl of soup, as if to taste test the recipe. Another time, he proudly carried a bread roll around the house, like a victorious hunter parading his prey. Tin also has a unique way of demanding attention. While other cats might meow politely or curl up beside you, Tin prefers the dramatic approach. He climbs onto my desk while I'm working, plants himself directly on the keyboard, and gazes into my eyes with the seriousness of a philosopher. If I dare to ignore him, he adds a flair of chaos by tapping random keys, sometimes sending mysterious emails or opening 20 browser tabs. Even his attempts at grooming are hilarious. Because his back legs aren't as flexible as other cats, he sometimes rolls over like a little sausage trying to reach an itch. The result is a combination of frustration and slapstick comedy, with Tin flopping on the floor in exaggerated defeat. But instead of feeling sorry for him, I laugh, because Tin seems to laugh at himself too, with that cheeky glint in his eyes. Beneath the comedy and chaos, there is something much deeper about living with Tin. His quirks, his struggles, and his unusual ways remind me every day that love isn't about perfection, it's about connection. Tin doesn't need to leap gracefully or win beauty contests to deserve affection. He just needs to be himself. And the truth is, he gives back more love than I could ever measure. At night, Tin curls up beside me, purring so loudly that it feels like my bed has its own little engine. He presses his oddly bent tail against my arm, almost as if to say, see, I may be different, but I'm yours. In those moments, I realize that what makes Tin imperfect is also what makes him extraordinary. Some people search for flawless pets or ideal companions, but Tin has taught me that real joy comes from embracing differences. His clumsy jumps make me laugh harder than any circus act, and his crooked ears remind me that beauty has many shapes. Tin is not less than other cats. He is more, because he carries with him a story of resilience, humor, and love. So yes, Tin may not be as complete as other cats, but in my eyes, he is whole. Perfectly whole. And if anyone dares to question that, well, I'd simply point to Tin lounging on the couch, belly up, paws in the air, demanding belly rubs like the king he believes he is. And honestly, who could resist that? In many ways, Tin reminds us that life is not about achieving a flawless image but about embracing authenticity. Just as Tin stumbles, miscalculates his jumps, and yet still manages to be endlessly lovable, people too carry imperfections that make them unique. Modern life often pressures us to present ourselves as perfect, whether on social media, at work, or in personal relationships. We chase after flawless appearances, ideal achievements, and the approval of others, forgetting that true connection is built on sincerity, not perfection. Tin's crooked ears and clumsy leaps don't lessen his value. Instead, they highlight his resilience and character. Likewise, our struggles and flaws don't define us negatively. They enrich us and give depth to our story. In a world that glorifies polished success, perhaps the best advice is to let go of impossible standards and allow ourselves to be human. Love yourself for your quirks, laugh at your missteps, and treasure the bonds you create by being real. Just as Tin finds joy in simple moments and still manages to brighten every room, we too can choose happiness not by striving to be perfect, but by celebrating who we already are.